I'm Sarah Sabin, and today I'm very excited because I want to bust a myth, and that's in relation to purpose and how it relates to a business or company. Now, if you hear purpose in a business context, you might think, well, it's a fluffy, immeasurable thing that sounds a bit new age and hippie. But I'm here to say it's basically not that at all. So imagine you are in a car and you know you want to get to a destination, but you have literally no idea what that destination is. So you just get in your car and you drive around for hours and hours and hours, seemingly getting nowhere. Now, contrast that with you get in your car, you decide on your destination, you put it into the GPS, especially in my case because I have a terrible sense of direction, and you drive towards your destination and you get there in a few hours. Now, obviously that seems logical in that small example, but imagine as a company or a business that you have literally no real tangible purpose or vision. So there's kind of a fluffy purpose and you're sort of aimlessly going towards this vision. I'm not just talking about a 5 to 10 year plan. I'm talking about what is your overall purpose and vision for existing? Why do you exist? Now, the reason for having this, there are lots of reasons which I'm going to go through in a moment, and there is evidence to back that up as well. So, number one, if you have a clear purpose or vision, you will actually more likely actualize it. So you will have more success in actualizing your ambitions. Number two, purpose trumps motivation. So as a leader of a business, you will undoubtedly hit obstacles at some point. And the question is, how do you get through those? Do you motivate and push yourself through them? Or do you go back to your purpose again when things are getting difficult? So there's studies to show that with a lot of high achievers, rather than just sort of pushing through, what they do is take some time. So whether that's an hour, whether that's a week or a day, whatever it is, but they step back and reflect and reconnect with their purpose. Reconnect with the why for their company existing. And then they go back in with fresh thinking, because when you step back and reflect, that's when those new fresh ideas and innovation often come to you. So let's go into some facts as well. So Grant Thornton did an international business report a few years ago now, and it looked at the concept of purpose in relation to high growth companies. And we're talking about well-known brands that they surveyed as well, such as Nike. And what they found was really interesting, that there was a link between purpose and growth. So over 70% of high growth companies actually had a very clearly defined non-financial purpose that was clearly communicated throughout the organization and to their customer base as well. And that's as opposed to 52% of all companies. The other point as well is, of course, if you have a purpose and you communicate that purpose through the organization, that creates a shared team philosophy. And it means that employees are more likely to be purpose-driven. And purpose-driven employees are more productive and tend to be more loyal, so they will stay with an organization for a longer period of time. And as you can imagine, that translates to the bottom line. More productive employees are more likely to contribute positively to the bottom line. If you have more loyal, motivated employees that stick around for longer, then you're not having to constantly attract new employees and deal with high staff turnover costs. And let's not forget as well that it's also the way that the world is moving. So Deloitte did a recent study where they surveyed 18,500 people from Generation Millennial and Generation Z. So for your reference, that's anyone born after January 1983. I just about make the millennial bracket. And what was really interesting in that study is that they want to work for companies that care about the community, that care about social impact. And what they're actually feeling at this time, only half of them thought that businesses were a force for good for both them and for the community at large. And there was also only a third of them that thought of business leaders as being a force for good as well. And that's really a sign for all of us that, you know, the younger generations are crying out for purpose-led businesses and purpose-led leaders. So they're crying out for change. And the final point I'm going to make is, as far as customers go as well, they're moving towards a trend of purpose over profit. So having that strong purpose also feeds into your marketing and attracts more customers as well, which feeds into your bottom line. So those are all my reasons why purpose in a business context is not fluffy.